Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going on a seriously fascinating, data-driven journey to uncover the ultimate calorie-burning sports. Look, if you've ever spent hours sweating it out at the gym or pounding the pavement just wondering if you're actually getting the absolute most out of your time, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we aren't relying on those locker room rumors or fitness magazine fads. No way. We're looking directly at the real data, the raw statistics, and the actual physiological science behind human energy expenditure. We're going to completely debunk some of the biggest, most widespread fitness myths out there and reveal what the science actually says. Trust me on this one, the real numbers, they're going to completely change how you look at your next workout.
So let's kick things off with a pretty simple question. Which sport actually burns the most calories per hour? Honestly, if you were to go out and poll 100 people on the street right now, most of them would instantly guess swimming, or, maybe cycling. And hey, it totally makes sense, right? You see those Olympic swimmers with their unbelievable physiques, or cyclists just grinding up literal mountains for hours on end. It's one of the most widely accepted beliefs in the whole fitness world. But what if I told you that the sport sitting at the absolute #1 spot is something almost nobody expects? We've got a real mystery to unravel here, guys, and to solve it, we first need to understand just a little bit of human physiology.
Now, there is a fundamental difference between exercising on land versus exercising in the water. It all comes down to thermoregulation. When you're exercising on land, your body has to work incredibly hard, and I mean it burns a ton of calories, just to keep itself warm and regulate its temperature against the air. But the second you jump into a pool, the water acts like a massive thermal regulator. It continuously cools your body down. So what does that mean? It means your metabolic system simply doesn't have to work nearly as hard to regulate your temperature. In the water, that whole extra calorie burning process, it's basically eliminated. Which leads us directly to this huge reality check. Myth completely busted. Despite what millions of people think, swimming does not burn the most calories. Actually, based on the data for a standard 75-kilogram athlete, swimming only ranks at number 9 on our list. It burns roughly 600 to 700 calories per hour. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic exercise for your joints and your cardiovascular health, absolutely. But purely from a calorie-burning perspective, the cooling effect of the water severely caps its metabolic demand. All right, so let's establish our baseline and look at the actual data. We're counting down from number 10 to number 4 for that same 75-kilogram athlete. We've got cycling at number 10, swimming at 9. Moving up, we see basketball burning about 600 to 750 calories an hour. Obviously, that depends heavily on how intensely you're actually playing. Then comes soccer, or football depending on where you are, at number 7, burning 700 to 900 calories. And get this, here's a super cool fact. Elite soccer players are covering 10 to 13 kilometers in a single match. Wild, right? At number 6 is tennis, burning up to 1,000 calories an hour. Number 5 is running, which is a classic metabolic powerhouse. And sitting just outside our podium at number 4 is martial arts and MMA, burning a massive 800 to 1,100 calories per hour. So the really crucial point here is to understand exactly why these sports rank where they do. Let's look at cycling, 500 to 600 kilocalories per hour. Why is it sitting at the very bottom of our top 10? Well, it's all about muscle engagement. In cycling, the effort is almost entirely isolated to your lower body. Because you're seated and your weight is supported by the bike, your core is barely engaged during the workout, and your upper body is basically static. And it's a simple equation. Less muscle activation directly equals fewer calories burned. But hey, we also have to remember that averages only tell part of the story, right? There is extreme variability based on the specific event. Take tennis, for example. The baseline average says 700 to 1,000 calories an hour. But an elite player like Rafael Nadal, he can easily burn over 3,000 calories in a single, grueling, multi-hour Grand Slam match. I mean, the sheer explosive energy required to start, stop, sprint, and swing with maximum force over several hours, it literally pushes human endurance to its absolute limits. And speaking of pushing limits, try 4,000 plus calories. That is what a fighter can burn in total during a 5-round UFC mixed martial arts fight. Grappling, striking, defending, wrestling, it all demands explosive power from literally every single muscle group in the body, all under extreme stress. It's just an unbelievable display of metabolic output. But amazingly, MMA is still only number 4 on our list. All right, moving into Section 1, the surprising podium, the top 3 most demanding sports. Okay, this is the moment we've been building up to. We are leaving the averages behind and entering elite territory. These are the absolute heavyweight champions of calorie burning. Coming in at number 3 is the hidden giant, rowing. And the data brilliantly illustrates exactly why. A staggering 86% of your muscles are activated simultaneously during a single rowing stroke. Think about it. Your legs drive the power, your core stabilizes the movement, your back pulls, and your arms finish it off. It is pure, continuous, full-body engagement. This makes rowing one of the most efficient calorie-burning exercises ever measured, torching 800 to 1,200 calories an hour. In fact, Olympic rowers routinely record some of the highest VO2 max values in the entire history of sports, simply because their bodies are demanding so much oxygen to feed all those working muscles. Taking the silver medal at number two is a brutal, absolute beast of an endurance test, cross-country skiing. We're talking 900 to 1,200 calories burned per hour. To put this extreme demand into perspective for you, athletes competing in the Tour de Ski burn a massive 10,000 calories in a single race day. 10,000. Think about that combination for a second. You have a freezing cold environment forcing your body to work overtime just to stay warm, combined with continuous, non-stop, full-body physical exertion pushing through thick snow. It is one of the most physically demanding activities on planet Earth, even though it rarely gets the mainstream attention it totally deserves. Which brings us to the big, dramatic reveal. The #1 undisputed champion of calorie burning is squash. Yeah, you heard that right. Squash. Players can burn up to an incredible 1,500 calories per single hour of play. But why? I mean, how does hitting a little rubber ball against a wall outburn running, rowing, and MMA? Well, it all comes down to the environment and the core mechanics of the game. You are trapped in a tightly enclosed court. You're constantly making these explosive, lateral movements in every possible direction. You lunge, you strike, you recover instantly. And the absolute most critical factor here? There are essentially 0 rest periods. None. It is pure, unrelenting, continuous physical output. And you know what? You don't just have to take the raw data's word for it. Forbes famously named squash the healthiest sport in the world. On top of that, the British Journal of Sports Medicine has confirmed its status as the highest intensity sport based on pure calorie expenditure. It is, without a doubt, the ultimate metabolic furnace. Moving on to Section 2, 3 rules for real results, shifting the paradigm. Okay, so now that we have the raw statistics and we actually know the champions of calorie burn, we really need to shift the paradigm. Having all this cool data is great, but how do we actually apply it? Let's distill all of this research into 3 practical, actionable rules for real results in your own training. But before we hit those rules, you need to understand one absolutely vital scientific concept: EPOC. That stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. You'll often hear it called the afterburn effect. This is exactly what happens when you push your body through high-intensity sports like MMA, rowing, or running. Your body works so incredibly hard that your metabolism stays significantly elevated for 24 to 48 hours after your workout is finished. You are literally continuing to burn calories at a higher rate while you're resting on the couch, while you're eating, and even while you're sleeping. To give you a really concrete example of this, let's look at running. Thanks to EPOC, an athlete can easily burn an extra 190 calories post-run. That's 190 free calories burned purely from the metabolic debt you created during the workout. This compounding effect over weeks and months is absolutely enormous, and frankly, it's something completely ignored by most casual athletes. So, here are your 3 core takeaways, the real rules of the game. Rule number 1, consistency beats intensity. Look, burning 1,500 calories in a brutal game of squash once a month is going to have almost 0 impact on your overall fitness. But burning 700 calories playing soccer or running 4 times a week, now that yields transformational results. The sport you do consistently will always win out. Rule 2, intensity within the sport matters. It's not just what you play, it's how you play it. And rule 3, as we just saw, the afterburn effect is real. High intensity creates a metabolic debt that pays out long, long after you leave the gym. To really hammer home that second rule about intensity, just consider a casual Sunday tennis rally with a friend versus a highly competitive, fast-paced singles match. Technically, they are the exact same sport, but physiologically, they are entirely different events. 2 people can step onto the exact same court, play for the exact same hour, and one will burn literally twice the calories of the other simply because of how hard they push. Intensity is the ultimate multiplier. Which brings us right to our final thought. As much fun as it is to look at all this data and see squash sitting at the top and cycling down at the bottom, the real lesson from all this research isn't about wildly switching your hobbies just to chase a higher number. It's this: the best sport is the one you show up to. It's the one you actually enjoy, the one you consistently arrive for, and the one you push yourself in every single session. Daily discipline is what truly separates elite athletes from everyone else. So I'm going to leave you with this to think about before your next workout. Are you showing up consistently? And when you do, are you bringing the intensity needed to trigger real, lasting physiological change?